Hi, this is Laura with Credit Dusters, and today I'm going to show you how to read your checklist. When you sign up for the program, within 3 business days, you should have received an initial email from me with an attachment which looks a lot like this checklist on your screen right now. So I'm just going to run through this very briefly with you just to show you exactly how to read it so that you get the most out of what I'm sending you. First of all, at the top, you'll see your name listed here. Here it's John A. Doe. Borrower 1, John. And then I'm going to start listing your scores here. Your beginning scores means these are the scores that you started the program with. And this will be through your Credit Watch service that you signed up for when you signed up with me. The date here will be the date the credit report was pulled. And then these are the scores listed under each particular bureau. Now keep in mind, these are not your mortgage scores. These are consumer scores based on the Credit Watch service you signed up with. The reason these are helpful is because it gives us a baseline, first of all, of where you're starting. And every time I pull a new report for you, every 45 days, you will see a new set of scores listed underneath, and you'll be able to see the progress, which is hopefully what happens, is seeing the scores going up. So we'll know exactly how much your scores are going up, but they will be just translated a little bit differently to the mortgage score. But don't worry, I've been doing this for a long time, so I can tell very closely when you're ready for financing, even though we don't know exactly what the mortgage score is going to be. Typically, your consumer scores will be a little bit higher than your mortgage score. It's not always the case, but just as a general rule of thumb. Okay, so let's see what else is on the checklist. We have personal information. Here I will list anything on your credit report that's listed incorrectly. Most of the time I won't know this unless you tell me, or unless it's just like an obvious thing like your name is spelled wrong or something like that. But if there are addresses on here on your credit report that are not yours, please let me know. If your date of birth, for instance, is incorrect, I'll be able to see that. If you want to add an employer to your credit report that's not on there, let me know and I can be sure and request that that be added. Those types of things are not going to affect your scores very much. However, it can have an effect, like if your birth date is wrong, it's possible that the bureaus are including information on your credit report that's not yours. So we just want to make sure that everything is accurate. Next section is judgment and public records. This is anything that you have been sued for, whether that's a judgment, a tax lien, a bankruptcy, anything of that nature will be listed here. If you see something that says it's satisfied, that means this amount you no longer owe. It has been paid. Discharged is usually related to a bankruptcy, which means that the bankruptcy is no longer in progress. It has been completed. If you see a listing that says filed, which there's not here, but if it says filed with an amount, that typically means that you owe that amount. It has not been paid. And I will step you through anything that you need to do in regards to those items. Inquiries, we track inquiries for the past 90 days. Those are the inquiries that affect your credit scores. After that, we just kind of drop them off because they're not of significant value. Inquiries are not a big deal unless you have an excessive amount. And if that's the case, then we'll definitely let you know to back off and not have your credit pulled. Late payments, here we list any accounts that are on your credit report that have late payments associated with them. In particular, we are concerned about late payments that have occurred in the past 12 months. But even if they have occurred 5, 6, 7 years ago, we're still going to try to list them here and try to get them removed because they still are affecting your scores in a negative way. If you see something that just says late, but it doesn't have a date next to it, usually that means that we don't know the date of the late payments, but they're probably very old. Next section is collections. Here, anything that's related to a collection, a charge-off, a foreclosure, anything like that is going to be listed here. Similarly, if you see a balance on anything like here on this Midland funding, that means that is still owed. If you see a zero balance, that means that is charged off. It's either been paid or sold to a different company or something like that. Settled for less than full balance means that you paid the debt for less than you owe. By the way, that's a very bad listing that you do not want on your credit report. So if you ever get to the point where you want to start settling debts, please talk to me first to make sure that this listing does not ever get on your credit report, and I can help you with that. Newly defaulted accounts means I may pull your credit report in 45 days and there's a new collection. If that's the case, I list it here because I want to flag you, because your scores will always go down if you have new collections. So I just want to make sure that you're aware of any new issues that arise. Validations are items that we are sending out specific letters on for the purpose of finding out if the account is truly valid. These are accounts that we have questions on, and if we do any validations, we will notify you and let you know what to expect. Revolving accounts, these are your credit cards. Now this is a very important section because this is an area where we're going to watch closely. I have listed here your credit limit on your credit card, your current balance, and then what your balance should be less than. And so I'm going to be coaching you specifically on what you should be paying down if needed, or if there's anything necessary, just keep a close eye on this area. Finally, we have the recommendation section. When I mentioned coaching, when you signed up for the Credit Dusters account, this is your coaching section right here. On this, I'm going to be telling you specifically what I want you to do each and every month. Now, every month it could vary depending on what you've completed and if we're moving on to something else. So just start with number 1 and just work your way down. When you see green, that means you have completed those goals, so great job. When you see red, that means that's something that you still need to work on, so pay close attention to that, and then just let me know when you've completed that item. And that concludes all the items on your checklist. If you have any questions about your checklist specifically, please let me know. I want to make sure you know exactly what's going on with your account. Thanks.